During the 2018 presidential campaign, President Bio said his top priorities were improving quality and access to education, revamping the economy, fighting corruption, making the executive efficient, addressing impunity, and protecting women and girls. The question on the minds of many Sierra Leonean voters is this: did we get what we voted for in 2018?
Depending on who you talk to, some say it's excellent, some say they are disappointed, some don't even care. And these are the kind of views that continue to shape Sierra Leonean communities here on the ground and even online, at home and abroad.
Today, we add something fresh to the debate: facts and evidence. We present to you the biometer. This biometer evaluates the efforts made on the 536 promises in the SLPP's 2018 manifesto, the new direction. This is not about perception. It is not about whether you're for or against President Bio and the SLPP. Instead, it reflects the evidence gathered on all 536 promises made by the SLPP in 2018. We looked at 19 sectors the manifesto covered. Some sectors have more promises than others. There were 83 promises made on the economy, 70 promises to improve governance, all the way down to communications and energy, with under a dozen promises.
For each of the 536 promises, a team of experienced Sierra Leonean experts actually gathered evidence on each promise and then measured it against the progress made.
They categorized actions on manifesto promises using 5 areas: promise achieved or kept in green, significant progress in attaining promise in blue, minimal progress made on promise in yellow, promise stalled or not started in red, or promise is vague or not rated in grey. Here are the key results. Number 1, overall, 536 promises were tracked. The language of 40 of these promises was vague and unclear and therefore not rated. Thus, in total, we rated 496 promises.
So there are clear examples of vague promises, like I will depoliticize student union, I will abolish supreme executive authority, and these reckless orders from above.
Number 2, of the 496 promises rated, overall, President Bio took varying degrees of action on nearly 80% of them. That is 79.9% of the promises. 305 promises, representing 61.5% of the 2018 promises, have either been completely fulfilled or significant progress has been made towards completion. About 18.4% of the promises have just started or show minimal progress, while 21.1% of promises are stalled or not started at all.
Number 3, some critical sectors actually made progress better than others. For example, land, housing and country planning completed 94% of its promises. Basic education and completed 84%, tourism 76%, energy and power 73%, information and communication 70%.
So it is not surprising at all to see Sierra Leone leading global innovation in education, in land reform, access to information, and many districts and chiefdoms in rural areas are even beginning to access electricity.
The availability of energy in the villages in towns like this nature makes it possible for them to preserve vaccines and provide light for midwives and those in labor.
Mines and minerals is 42, governance is 40, transport is 35, local governments is 33, and water resources only completed 33% of the promises.
So while we acknowledge progress made, we noted that most of the promises were around legal and administrative reforms and inputs. There are few on tangible outcomes. From experience around the world, we now know that manifesto promises based on legislative and admin reforms can be a low benchmark to measure a nation's aspiration. This means that a nation can score high on making legal and administrative changes, yet continue to face economic and governance challenges. So rather than box-ticking exercises like passing laws, political parties should consider designing manifestos with clear substantive targets for the next 5 years. For example, percentage increase in jobs for young people, and percentage increase of exports from Sierra Leone in value-added industries. The real task we have at hand is seeing how to support political parties frame manifestos that can lead to greater social and economic transformation in our country.